Good morning, everybody. Okay, I'm in the car. It was supposed to be an eBay moment. I actually did sit down and list about maybe 5 or 6 items last night. Am I holding my package? No, because I've already went to the post office. It's super early. It's 9 a.m. in the morning. I thought that this particular post office opened at 9, but they did open at 9, but they had their lobby open early, but they just didn't have the window open. Now, I'm not gonna say struggled, but I almost started not to do this video, but I thought it would be a great teaching moment, and I love to be taught new things, and I love when people say, hey, this could be a teachable moment. So let me tell you what happened. My routine when I get up in the morning is basically before I get started on the teachable moment, yes, I had a package, very small package. It was a skirt. I really should have did the video, but I wasn't thinking until I got to the post office, went in the lobby, and then it was just too late. They were opening the window like in the next 5 minutes or so. What sold? A beautiful skirt for $14.99. So I want to show you guys the highs and the lows. So when I do sell something, I just don't necessarily sell high ticketed items. I get excited whenever I see that red dot on eBay. I get excited if it's a $10 item or I get a little bit more excited when it's a $200 item. But with that being said, anything that gets sold, I'm excited about. Okay, so back to the teachable moment. When I get up in the morning, I check the news. So I see what the stock market is doing, currencies. That's just me. That's how I start my day off. Well, that's one of the ways I start my day off. So I like to see what's happening globally. So I was listening to a channel on social media, and I like to refer to this channel actually every day. Actually, there's about 5 to 10 channels that I go to see what's going. They're based all over the world, so it tells me what's going on in that sector, in that area. And they report on multiple things, but I really love currency, finances, the market, just globally, currencies, stuff like that. So I'm listening to the report, and I don't have headphones. I'll just start with that. There's one other lady that's in front of me, and it's loud enough to where we're in it's the post office, so it's a smaller one, so it's kind of echoing, I guess. My volume wasn't up all the way, and basically the person was talking about I don't know if you guys follow the markets, and it was talking about how basically, I think it was 2 days ago, the Fed has been injecting the market, the repo market, with money. And I think they started off with $75 billion. So I'm listening to that. I haven't even been listening to it for 1 minute. Another woman walks in behind me. And let me just say, sometimes when you're positive, I just said this to my coworker the other day, when you're positive, people that are miserable, negative, they come find the light, the positivity. Some people, when they just want to latch on, they want attention, whatever the case may be. And this was like an older lady. And then she came behind me and she goes, do you have earphones? And I said to myself, and I looked back and I said, oh, no. And I kept listening. She goes, oh, well, you really should have earphones because I don't want to hear that. It's bothering me. And mind you, she was standing behind me for 30 seconds, not even a minute. And then I paused the video and I said, ma'am, I love to say this to people that really spaz out. So when somebody comes at you just like out of nowhere, you don't know them, or maybe you do know them, and they're just really, you could tell they're having a real bad day. Because I looked at her and I said, ma'am, are you okay? Are you having a bad day? She goes, well, I just don't believe that I have to be forced upon to listen to what you're listening to. And then she hit me with this word, and I love this word, etiquette. She goes, it's just etiquette for everybody around you. Not everybody wants to hear this. So I asked the lady, and by then there was maybe one other lady behind her. So we're 4 women. And then I asked the lady in front of me, I said, I'm sorry, ma'am, is my news bothering you? And she said, well, it is kind of loud. I said, okay. And then I turned back to the lady and I looked to the lady behind me. I said, ma'am, and she kind of gives me this look like, oh God. I said, ma'am, is this bothering you? She goes, and she's looking like, she goes, basically, I could care less. I've been in line for 30 seconds. I said, oh, okay. And so then I looked back at the lady and I went and turned, and she goes, and I turned it back on. where I'm going with this is like, it's almost like she felt entitled that because she said something that I have to. Now, I'm all about etiquette because I'm really big on customer service, being kind to others. But in the morning, the worst thing that can happen to you is you're hearing 30 seconds of a clip of somebody talking about the bank and, and how the banking system just got injected with $75 billion. And that was the gist of it. She couldn't hear no more than 30 seconds of it. And she just started really going at it. So then I turned it back on. She goes, oh my God. And then they were talking about, because it's in a different country, and they were talking about maybe how a different country was, they said the word Hispanic. And then they said maybe it was a Hispanic market, and then she goes, oh, and it is prejudice too. It's negative. And I paused the video again, and I looked back at her. By then, there's about 3 or 4 more people, and I'm like, you know what? This woman is really hurting inside, and I really do feel that. She feels very entitled. So I asked her. I said, ma'am. Once again, I asked her, are you having a bad day? You know what her answer to me was? And I love being, depending on the situation, being nice, nasty. I said, ma'am, are you having a bad day? She goes, I'm having a bad year. And you could tell, I could see the pain on her face. And I said, ma'am, because some people, when they're nasty to you, sometimes, you know, a lot of people say, oh, just let it go. It's them. It's them. Yeah, it's them. But you know what? They probably get through their whole life being negative or nasty or feeling entitled that you have to do what they say because they don't feel comfortable inside. Now, out of all the things you could say, you heard 30 seconds of a news clip, I said, ma'am, this is news. She goes, it's just negative. And I agreed with her. That's why I don't really listen to the news. I listen to a lot of alternative news, but I also feel that you need to be aware of what's happening globally so you don't get left behind. That might have went over some people's head, but that's just how I feel. I live here in Vegas. I don't want to just know what's going on in Vegas. I want to know what's going on globally so I can prepare myself and my family. So anyways, off subject, but that was just a little tidbit, a little gem for those that like to collect gems. So I said, ma'am, you're having a bad year. I looked her dead in her eyes and I said, ma'am, you know what? I hope you have a better year. She told me, I hope you have a better life. I said, no, ma'am. I said, I'm not the one complaining right now. I'm having an excellent life. I said, actually, I'm in pleasant spirits this morning. I said, I woke up great this morning. I said, you seem to be the person struggling today. I said, I'm playing a news clip, back to it. So I did tell her, I said, you are correct. I said, I usually don't watch the news because they always have so much negativity in there, and I wish they would do more positivity. But that's not what that was about. A news clip talking about the banking system and money should not upset your day. And I can't tell. She goes, well, I'm just voicing my opinion. I said, and I'm telling my truth. Now, I almost started to really rip her right there. You're telling your truth. Sweetheart, you sound like you've been oppressed or something. What are you talking about? You're telling your truth? Ma'am, you got in line behind me. The lady before you maybe heard 1 minute, a minute and a half of this news that I'm listening to, and you got in behind me and you're instantly bam like that. And I'm thinking to myself, you're so triggered that you're having a bad day, and I had to tell her, I said, ma'am, you just admitted to me that you're having a bad year. Whoa, that's terrible, but that has nothing to do with me. Don't let somebody's negativity be your negativity. And to start the morning off, it's only 9. I'm looking at my clock. It's only 9:17. And this lady was having such a bad day to where she had to lash out at me. Now, like I said, I almost debated not to do this video, but it's a teachable moment. When you're out and about and someone tries to tell you what you need to do, don't feel obligated to do that. Also, somebody else's reality, and I think I might have said it to her, and if I didn't, I'm saying it now. Somebody else's reality is not your reality. So by her saying she was having not even a bad day, not even a bad week, she said she was having what did she say? This lady said she was having a bad year. A bad year. And the way she carried herself, because I'm really big on, body language, what people say, how they say it. And just when she said, I'm having a bad year, I looked at her, I'm like, yeah, she really is having a bad year, but you know what? Your reality is not my reality. Meaning, I said this in another video, I need to bring back sit down Sundays, you guys. There's a difference between being concerned and caring. I do believe we're all linked in some kind of way, and I do care about humanity and people. I really do. But to be concerned, so I don't say anymore, oh, I don't care about that. No, I'm not. There's a difference. You have to kind of cut yourself off sometimes and be like, I can't be concerned with that. Can you imagine if you're concerned with everybody else's problems? How can you focus on yourself? Do you get what I'm saying? Energy wise, spiritually wise, everybody's coming to you with negativity and whatnot. So if I was to turn off the 30-second clip of the news that I was listening to appease her, I'm not gonna say she felt like she won, but then that kind of maybe makes her feel even more entitled to go throughout her day to tell people what they need to do. I look back and at this point there was maybe 3 other people, and they're just slowly, we weren't even in there less than 3 minutes, and she wanted to have a whole conversation, a whole negativity, whatever. I turned around and she goes, but you turned it back on. I can't believe you did that. Is that the height of your day? Because I'm being real serious. You got to really just sit back sometimes and not lash out at people, but really just assess the situation. And I thought to myself, wow, this early in the morning, I mean, it's a beautiful day. It is 74 degrees. There's a slight breeze. It is, and I love the sunshine. It is a gorgeous day, okay? A simply gorgeous day. And you mean that you're going to start your day off with trying to tell somebody else what to do? You haven't even been in their space for 30 seconds and you feel entitled that I need to turn down this. Now, I do want to veer off a little bit, and I do believe in it. I wouldn't have called it etiquette, because of course she said it was noise pollution. There's people walking around homeless, starving, and you're worried about standing in the post office for 30 seconds. And the crazy part about it is, like I said, she was behind me 30 seconds. Soon as he opened the window, because I work in the customer service, I turned it off because I was going to talk to the whatchamacallit. Moral of the story is, sit down and list for eBay. And it's early, so this eBay package came in last night. So I was out running another errand, so I just decided to get that one off. I like to get my packages off as soon as possible, especially when they're the more expensive ones. The cool thing about living in Vegas and the area that I live in, I live close to the airport, in which the main post office is by the airport, and they have beautiful hours. I do believe it's 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. 8 p.m., 8 to 8 or 8 to 9, I think they extend it through the holidays. So I'm able, like when somebody, and I know people appreciate it, especially if they're spending $100, $200, $300 with me, and it's a higher ticketed item. If I see it come in and say I'm at work and I'm not able to get to the post office right away after I get off of work or whatever the case may be, I can go ahead and mail it off at 7:30, 7:45, 8 o'clock at night. And then it gets to them, and I like to send them a message, hey, your package is on the way. And a lot of times they say, hey, great customer service, because I have it 2-day prep for it to get shipped out, but I mail it out the same day, and people appreciate that. Circling around again, I wasn't going to make this video, but I thought it'd be a teachable moment. As you go through your day, your week, your moment, your hour, the rest of the month, the week, the year, don't let people dictate how your day is going to go. And if somebody's having a bad day, and that's what I wanted to know, if she was I was concerned, okay, at that moment, because I didn't know where this was coming from. This woman didn't know me. She had entered this building not even 30 seconds, and she was already a little angry. I asked her, are you having a bad day? And for her to respond that she was having a bad year, I told her, hey, that has nothing to do with me, ma'am. I said, I hope you have a better day, a better year. And then she told me, I said, no, ma'am, I'm actually in pleasant spirits today. Don't let somebody else's reality, listen to this, don't let somebody else's reality be your reality. Okay? Don't let somebody else's reality be your reality. All right, I'm done. Have a great day. Bye.